stages of a Hello guys, uh, welcome sa ating subject na CVEP 10063, Construction Technology 3. Nagpo-focus ito sa piling, earthworks, and foundation works technology. So for the chapter 1, which is the general overview and introduction, ito yung ating mga agenda. I-discuss natin kung ano ba ang isang project, so what is the project. Ang stages of a project development. Yan natin makikita kung ano ba yung mga stages kung paano nabubuo ang isang proyekto or project. So, next agenda is the construction project funding, wherein we will discuss kung ano ba yung mga sources ng funds ng isang construction project, kung paano ba siya pinupondohan, and ano-ano ba yung mga options kung paano natin ma-fund yung isang project. Fourth agenda will be the different construction sectors kung saan i-discuss natin yung mga iba't ibang types ng construction sectors na present sa construction industry. Fifth agenda will be the employer, engineer, and the contractor. So, itong agenda nito will focus more on the roles and definitions or responsibilities ng isang employer, isang engineer, and isang contractor sa isang contractual project. Dito naman sa organizational chart agenda, we will discuss the common or widely used template na ginagamit ng construction industry. Last agenda natin for the chapter 1 will be the definition of some project manager. So basically, a project manager is a key position. Ito yung pinakamahalaga sa isang construction. So, discuss natin kung ano ba yung mga qualities and ano ba yung mga roles ng isang project manager sa isang contract project or construction project. So, ano nga ba ang project? What is a project? By definition, a project is a series of related tasks which when they are carried in the correct order will lead to the completion. So, kumbaga ito ay mga series ng tasks na kapag ginawa mo in order, makakomplete natin yung isang bagay. So, projects are temporary. So, it generally results in the creation of a tangible product or outcome. Dahil nga tayo ay nasa field ng engineering, construction management, ang project natin is a construction project. So, ano nga ba ang isang construction project? What is a construction project? So, construction project is the organized process of constructing, renovating, refurbishing, etc. So, a building structure or infrastructure. So, typically, the project process starts with the requirement. So, kung ano ba yung gusto mong ipagawa, which is developed through the creation of a brief feasibility studies, option studies, and design financing. And, syempre, yung pag-construct itself. So, construction projects comprises many similar many smaller projects which require a wide range of different disciplines working in collaboration. So, large numbers of people are involved in a typical construction project with the structure and composition of the project team usually changing through its duration. So, ayun nga, nagbabago yung composition ng project team kasi so, hindi naman kasi lahat ng expertise or fields ay matatakal mo sa unang part ng project. So, kung mapapansin mo, ang project ay pinaprogram and yung program na yun will be composed of phasing of works. Kasi hindi mo naman gayang gawin sa unang yung mga bagay na will require prerequisite activities. So, for example, hindi ka naman pwedeng magtayo kagad ng poste kung wala kang foundation. Ganun lang. It is sequential. So, yun yung nagiging reason kung ba't nag-change yung project team. So, projects, ang talagang nagko-coordinate ng projects ay tinatawag na project manager. So, pwede rin itong gawing project manager can be a lead consultant. So, sinusuportahan ito ng professionals. Yung project manager natin will be supported by professionals such as engineer, tayo, architect, cost consultant, and so on. So, maraming fields. So, ano ba yung mga factors na nakakapag-define sa project? So, meron ako ditong infographic. Actually, meron siyang 4 factors na nagko-compose o nagde-define ang isang project. So, dito sa una, nasabi dito that every project is unique. So, merong quite similar that every project or every project requirement is unique. Walang kaparehas. So, another factor that defines the project is the time. So, time or period, ito yung sinasabing time frame kung saan matatapos yung isang project. So, every project has a different project duration or meron din siyang different time requirement or time frame requirement. So, that makes it unique or a factor that defines the project. So, another factor is the budget. So, every project, kung large scale or small scale, dyan dumidepende yung magiging budget niya. So, another factor natin yung budget. Last factor na nakalagay dito is the limited resources. So, every project, meron yung iba't ibang resources na unique in every way sa isang project. Yung ibang common resources natin will be the concrete, steel, ano ba yung tinatawag na project life cycle? So, kung makikita nyo rito sa infographic, so project life cycle means ito yung phase na pagdadaanan ng every project na gagawin mo. So, magsisimula ito sa project initiation, pangalawa is project planning, project execution, and project closure. So, meron silang connections, so interrelated sila in every situation. Dapat, from the start, ang sinasabi lang naman yan is dapat meron kayong close communication in every life cycle or in every stage in cycle of the project. So, ano ba yung project initiation? Siyempre, from the word itself, initiate, dyan nag-start. So, ang goal ng phase na to, ng project initiation phase, is to define the project. So, kung ano yung ipapagawa mo or kung ano ba yung requirement or ano ba yung goal, bakit mo gagawin itong project na to. So, for example, nadaan. Siyempre, di ba, to ease up traffic, yun ang gusto nating i-emphasize na reason kung bakit natin ginagawa yung project na yun, na road construction. For example, bridge construction naman. So, itong mga bridge construction na to is, di ba, ma-amend natin yung gap between inter-island o cities that is separated by lakes or rivers. That's it. That's the project initiation. Nag-set ka ng goal. So, definition ng isang project. So, pangalawa is, meron ka ng goal, you will plan on how to execute it. So, this comes the second phase natin, which is the planning phase. So this phase includes developing a roadmap or master plan for everyone to follow. Kumbaga, nagke-create ka rito ng program, anong program or steps kung paano mo i-execute yung project. So that meron kayong parang key plan kung paano nyo i-execute ng maayos yung isang project. Kasi nga, di ba, nabanggit kanina na sa isang project o sa isang construction project ay marami kayong professionals. Hindi lang isang field ang involved dyan. So, many fields, many engineering fields. So, mahalaga, nasa planning pa lang is na-delegate na ng maayos yung mga workloads or na-program na siya ng maayos dito sa planning phase. So that, wala na magiging problema in the future. Para lang din yan sa groupings, group reporting, di ba? May isang leader na nagde-delegate ng task and ipa-plan niya ahead of time kung paano niya gagawin yung task. So, yun lang yung planning stage. Pangatlong phase is the project execution. From the word itself, execution. Dito na natin ina-execute or binibigyan buhay yung mga plants natin. So, then after execution, siyempre, monitor mo yung progress mo, yung physical progress mo. So, third phase is the execution and monitoring. Ito na yung phase, kumbaga, nagko-construct ka na. Ito na yung you're building the tangible assets na gusto mong i-build from the project initiation, project planning, execution, and monitoring. So in this stage, the project team is built and deliverables are created. Project managers will monitor physical asset na tangible assets. So in this stage, the project team is built and deliverables are created. Project managers will monitor and measure project performance to ensure it stays on track. So dito, nabuo na daw yung grupo. So na-delegate na din ng task yung each and every group ng isang project manager. So project manager sa case na to, i-monitor niya yung physical progress niya na dapat i-ensure niya na itong progress na to ay hindi delayed, stays on track, or syempre, pinakamagandang tunog sa construction is ahead of schedule. So, last life cycle, actually, fourth phase, kasi paikot lang naman siya in every project. So, closure. Sa closure, dito yung tinatawag na closure or completion. So, the project is completed niya. A post-mortem is held and the project is transferred to another team who will maintain it. So, dito, kumbaga, i-hand over mo na sa operations team or kung sino man yung end user na gagamit ng physical asset na binil mo. Halimbawa, school or medical facility, hospital. So, ito-turn over mo siya sa operations team ng hospital. Kung paano nila i-manage yung facility. So, kung paano nila i-maintain. That's the project closure, meaning na-close na yung project, it's already completed. Dumako naman tayo sa stages of project development. So, paano ba nabubuo ang isang project, ang isang construction project? So, kung kanina, pinakita ko sa inyo kung yung stages or life cycle ng isang project. So, dito naman, paano ba talaga nabubuo yung project, ang isang project? So, dito yung behind the scenes, kumbaga. Mas detailed to kumpara dun sa isang life cycle natin na apat lang. So tayo. Sa isang, ito, meron ako ditong 8 stage ng project development. Actually, hindi naman to isang template. Gusto ko lang dito mag-grasp mo yung, kumbaga, full process kung paano ba talaga nabubuo ang isang project. So, bago mabuo ang isang project, first stage niyan, dadaan mo yan sa isang feasibility study. So, ano ba yung feasibility study? Feasibility studies are preliminary studies undertaken in the very early stage of the project. So, they tend to be carried out when project is large or complex. So, ito kasi yung parang testing ng isang project. Kumbaga, feasible ba siya or viable ba siya? O kaya kung meron kayong doubt or controversy regarding the proposed development, kung hindi kayo sang-ayon dun sa proposed development, kumbaga meron kayong nag-waiver kayo kung magiging successful ba siya. So, the main purpose of the feasibility studies are, so, meron akong tatlong binigay dito. So, the feasibility study is to establish whether the project is viable, kung pwede nga siyang gawin. So, pangalawa is to help identify feasible options. So, halimbawa sa road development kasi, marami kang options, diba? So, saan dito ang best option para ma-minimize natin yung time and cost, yung methodology is madali, and syempre, yung economy natin or economical yung project. So, yung feasibility study, nakakatulong yun to help you identify yung mga feasible options. So, pangatlo is to assist in the development of other project documentation, such as the business case, project execution plan, and strategic brief. So, kumbaga, sa feasibility study pa lang, binubuo mo na yung project. So, meron kang options doon. Then, kapag nakapili ka na ng option doon, so, sa FS kasi, binuo mo na kung paano mo siya gagawin. So, meron ka ng series of steps, kumbaga, nalay down mo na yung mga steps, mas madali mo na siyang may execute. So, pangalawa, after mo ng feasibility study, so napatunayan mo na viable yung isang project, gagawa ka ng employer's requirement. So, employer, yun yung client, kumbaga, ikaw, kung gusto mo magpagawa ng isang project. So, dito sa employer's requirement, simply put, dito mo sasabihin kung ano yung mga gusto mong ipagawa or kung ano yung mga dapat na nandun sa proyekto mo or ano ba yung kanyang essence kung bakit mo ito ginagawa. So, sa employer's requirements, so halimbawa for a building design and construction, so gagawa tayong building, it provides a description of the client requirements, so including the specification of the building. So, parang bibili ka lang ng phone or laptop, PC, titignan mo yung specs. Kung pasok ba siya dun sa ano mo, kung gusto mo. So, the scope of the services required from the contractor and allocation of risk for unknown items. Siyempre, di ba? Yung scope, kailangan mo siyang ma-develop. Kung ano ba yung scope ng gagawin mo, kung ano ba talaga yung papagawa mo, kung hanggang saan, kung ano yung extent. At syempre, ano yung mga risks na hindi mo na-anticipate. So, dito sa employer's requirements, meron diyang after mo nga na iset kung ano yung gusto mong ipagawa, gusto ko ganyan, ganito dapat siya, ganito yung steps na, and dapat matapos siya in certain amount of time. So, diyan dadating yung mga contractor's proposal. Kumbaga, yung builder mo, yung inutusan mong gumawa, magbibigay siya ng contractor proposal. Yung proposal na yun, naglalaman kung paano niya gagawin, so ano yung mga materyales, tapos kung magkano syempre. So contractor's proposal are then prepared in response to employer requirements. This present the contractor suggested approach for designing and construction the building. So, ayun nga, kasama along with their price. So, the level of detail in the employer's requirements and the extent of design required from the contractors were variable. So, employer's requirements can range from a very simple, so simple siya, or a fully developed specification with a concept. So, depende sa iyo kung yung gusto mong ipagawa is meron ka nang naiisip or meron ka ng concept, pwede mong ibato mo sa contractor. Tapos gagawa na lang nila ng proposal kung paano nila gagawin. So, yung employee's requirements, dapat nag-i-include dyan ng project overview. Siyempre, ano ba yung project mo para saan? So, scope of services, kung ano yung gusto mong ipagawa hanggang saan, kung anong extent, kung ano yung mga kasama niya, kung ano yung mga hindi kasama. So, dapat meron din itong form for the contractor's proposal. So, sa government kasi, di ba? And syempre sa private entities din natin, private companies. So, ginagawa rin nila yung parang dapat merong 3 na bidders or contractors na gustong interested na gawin yung or i-undertake yung gusto mong ipagawang project. So, dapat meron kang form para mas madali mo siyang i-cross-examine with each other. So, dapat, if applicable, dapat ilista mo na rin din yung procedures kung paano yung magiging award or kung paano ba mapipili yung isang contractor. So, syempre, dapat kasama din doon yung site information, di ba? Kung saan gagawin. So, kung may existing design drawings, ibigay din. So, syempre, pinakamalaga yung program. Yung program and delivery of the process, including casing, pinakamahalaga yan. Syempre, dyan kasi isa-set kung kailan matatapos yung isang project. So, after matapos, here comes the procedures for inspection, testing, commissioning, and handover. Kumbaga, nakompleto na yung project, so paano gagawin ni contractor? Or paano niya ba ibibigay sa yung product? Or paano niya ma-ensure or paano ma-ensure na nagawa ni contractor yung trabaho niya? So, dapat malinaw yun sa employer's requirement. So, third stage ng project development is the creation of the general and technical specifications. Diba? Employer requirements kasi, nasabi mo kung anong gusto mo. Ayan, diba? Ito, ganyan, gusto ko ganito, ito hindi ko kasama, ito kasama, ito sa gusto ko ipagawa. Contractor naman nagbigay ng cost proposal. So, kung gusto mong gawin namin yan, ito yung magiging costo. So, syempre, habang nasa course na kayo ng negotiation, and nag-agree na kayo sa contract price, so dun papasok yung general and technical specifications. Actually, sa FIDIC, sa mga book ng FIDIC, so standard contracts, meron ng general and technical specifications. So, ang purpose kasi nitong general specification or technical specification, so, it refers to a set of documented requirements. So, mga requirements ito na dapat masatisfy or magawa ng contractor, tama yung material, tama yung design, tama yung product. Ayun. Tinatawag rin itong technical standard. So, maraming types ng technical or engineering specifications. So, in short, specs. And the term is used differently in different technical contexts. So, they often refer to particular documents and or particular information within them. So, the word specification is broadly defined as to state explicitly or in detail. So, kumbaga, i-detalye mo lang yung mga work item na gusto mong ipagawa. So, to be specific, yun ang kanyang keyword. So, So, next step naman, after yung creation ng general and technical specifications, pupunta na kayo sa contract. So, ano ba yung contract? Siyempre, contract is a written agreement. So, meron tayong 5 key elements ng contract na dapat meron para masabi natin na good contract siya or maganda yung naging written agreement nyo between the contractor and the employer. So, dapat meron itong project scope. Yung nga, nasabi ko kanina, dapat meron tong scope or limitation kung ano yung makakasama sa gagawin niya at hindi kasama sa gagawin niya. So, dapat din, malinaw yung or dapat nakapaloob sa contract yung cost and payment terms. So, pinaka-importante yun na cost and payment terms. So, kung magkano at kung ano yung manner of payment, kung COD ba or Shopee Pay. No, hindi siya ganun. So, payment terms kung ano yung tranching or kung 30% ba as advance payment, kumbaga down payment, ganun, or magkano monthly, ganun yan. So, nakalagay dapat yun sa contract. So, another key element ng contract is syempre yung time frame. Yung mahalaga rin yan. So, cost and time mahalaga yan. Scope, cost, and time. So, yung time, dapat syempre pasok sa requirement mo. So, mag-set ka ng time frame kung kailan mo ba gustong gamitin itong project mo, di ba? So, halimbawa, merong school lang for 5 years, di ba? So, gusto mo mag-project, magtatayo ng canteen, di ba? Paano yun? Kapag nakakuha ka ng contractor, the end of 5 years, hindi pa rin nila tapos. So, diba, para saan pa yung naging project mo? So, mahalaga talaga yung time frame. Another key element is yung mga dispute resolution process. So, kung meron kayong mga di pagkakaintindihan, actually, marami yan sa construction. Meron kayong di pagkakaintindihan. Dapat meron kayong way para ma-resolve yun and dapat nasa contract yun. So, after the contract has been drafted, dyan napapasok yung mga contract negotiations and agreements. So, after nun, after the contract has been made, dun napapasok yung design stage. Design stage can be a preliminary design and the detailed engineering design or the DED. So, ito nga palang stages na to ay gawa based from design and build contract. So, marami kasi tayong type ng contract. Merong design lang or build lang and meron tayong design and build, which is the most common. So, dito sa design stage, from the word itself, it is a phase where in the project development, develop mo na yung project in the plans. The planning stage. Specific. So, dito, yung project scopes na sinet mo sa employer's requirements and syempre yung general and technical specifications na sinet mo dito sa step 3 or sa stage 3, yan yung paggagamitan nila. Or i-refer nila dyan yung mga drawings kung pasok na dyan. Yan yung design stage. So, after nila ma-design yung drawings and pasok naman sa technical specs and employer's requirements, dyan na papasok yung construction and testing. So, yan yung papasok yung ating stage 3 kanina, which is the execution and monitoring. So, construction, construct mo as per design, as per technical specs, and as per the requirements, and as per contract. So, mahalaga yan. Employer's requirements, specs, contracts, and the design drawings. Yun nga, yung nasa design stage. So, after mo ma-construct yun, iti-test mo so that yung construction or yung facility na ginawa mo is functioning to its mandated function. And it is pasok sa mga materyales na sinet sa general technical specs. After mo matest, i-hand over sa'yo ng construction, ng contractor. So, sasabihin ng contractor, boss, tapos na yung pinagawa mo. So, dito, sa handover, meron yung procedure. Kumbaga, i-hand over mo sa akin, di ba? So, natapos mo na. So, i-check ko kung meron kang mga mali or wala ka mang mali ngayon, baka later on, mag-fail na yung mga ginawa mo or ma-damage. So, dapat meron tayong defects notification period or the DNP. So, itong DNP, ito yung period kung saan yung employer is dapat i-notify yung contractor sa mga defects na ginawa na mangyayari or in the future. So, habang ginagamit ng employer, may nasira, so, contractor, may nasira dito, pangit siguro ng gawa mo. So, dapat i-notify niya yung contractor before or bago matapos yung defect notification period. Kasi, kapag natapos na ang DNP, wala ka ng habol. Good as completed na yung iyong project. And wala ka ng habol sa contract or dahil after the DNP, ma-release na yung retention money. So, anong retention money? Retention money, hindi yan ibaba, kumbaga, contract price. Yung contract price, hindi pa makukuha ng buo. May retention money. Kumbaga, may tira. So, if ever man na may hindi ka nagawang project scope, di ba, ibabawas ko na lang doon sa retention money. Kumbaga, sigurista muna. Hindi ko muna ibabayad sa ito hanggat hindi ko natitesting yung product. So, until such time na matapos yung defects notification period as agreed by us, so pinag-usapan natin, dun ko lang ibibigay sa'yo yung kakulangan dun sa full payment. So, yun nga yung retention money. Kumbaga, dito mo na yan, hindi ko muna ibabayad sa'yo. Baka may kulang kang ginawa eh. Ayan. Kumbaga, habol mo yun. So, after nun, DNP, file mo na yung completion or handover dun sa operations. Kumbaga, ano ba yun nga, as I explained earlier, school building or hospital, gawa ka. So, i-hand over mo na doon sa mga end user, yung mga gagamit. That is the completion operation. So, yun yung stages, 8 stages ng project development na gusto kong i-emphasize dito sa slide na to. So, dito naman tayo sa construction project funding. So, saan ba galing yung mga pondo sa paggawa ng isang construction project or kung paano ba natin siya mapapondo? So, projects may be public or private. So, pwede rin both or some are under public-private partnerships, yung mga PPPs, especially sa mga. So, dito naman tayo sa construction project funding. So, saan ba galing yung mga pondo sa paggawa ng isang construction project or kung paano ba natin siya mapapondo? So, projects may be public or private. So, pwede rin both. Or some are under public-private partnerships, yung mga PPPs, especially sa mga government projects. Ayan. So, in the Philippines, kasi infrastructure projects will be financed through 3 main sources. So, one is the government's budget, 2, official development assistance or ODA, and 3, private sector participation. So, yung government budget kasi, ano yan, kumbaga, yan yung sa NEP or the National Expenditure Program na pinoprogram ng Pangulo. So, yun yung mga projects niya na i-finance. And, ayun nga, mapupunta siya ng Senate. Dun kasi sa Senate, kumbaga, kailangan mo ng appropriations dagaa. So, bago mapunduhan ng isang project, so ide-deliberate ng mga senador kung dapat bang mabigyan ka ng pondo yung department mo, yung ahensya mo para i-undertake ng mga ganitong projects. So, yung number 2 naman is yung ODA or yung Official Development Assistance. So, ito yung mga kadalasang tinatawag na loans o yung mga utang natin sa ibang bansa. So, pinaka-generous na nagpapautang sa atin is yung ADB, Asia Development Bank, and yung JICA, ayun, yung JICA Philippines, Japan. Meron pa yung mga ibang foreign funded ng ADB, so yung Official Development Assistance. Foreign funded siya, kumbaga nanghingi tayo ng loan sa ibang bansa. And 3, yung private sector participation. So, kung mapapansin nyo, marami ng private sector ang, kumbaga, nag-undergo or nakikipag-coordinate sa government para i-undertake yung mga projects na to. Siyempre, leverage din nila yon or makaiwas sa tax. So, usually, kapag government to private, ang setup is PPP. Yun nga yung public-private partnership. So, ano ba yung isang public project? So, a public project is one that is financed by the government. So, typically owned and maybe operated by the government. So, this can include major infrastructure, yung mga daan, tulay, dams, railways, tunnels, and so on, or public facilities such as hospitals, schools, kulungan, libraries, mga park, mga leisure centers, and so on. So, yung private project naman, on the other hand, is one that is financed or controlled, commissioned by a private party. So, yung hindi gobyerno. So, private parties can include mga individuals or corporations, charities, privately funded institutions, schools, hospitals, and so on. So, some projects involve both public and private entities nga. Yun nga, public PPP yung setup, public-private partnership. So, masyadong broad itong range ng partnership eh. Kasi dito, nagko-collaborate yung public and private sector. For some mutual benefit or meron silang agreement. So, ayun. Another naman, if the funding is, yun nga, private lang. So, funding can come from their reserves that are already allocated to the capital expenditure, yung tinatawag na CAPEX. So, i-research yung mga CAPEX. So, which results in the acquisition, construction, or enhancement of significant fixed assets, including land, buildings, and equipment that will be of use or benefit for more than one financial year. So, it can also come, so another funding source ng isang project is yung operational expenditure, yung OPEX naman. So, which is expenditure incurred as a result of day-to-day operations of a business. Kumbaga yung kita mo, yun yung ginamit mo as OPEX. Sa OPEX yun, operational expenditure. Yung namang capital, kumbaga nakaprogram na talaga yun sa capital mo. Gagamitin mo siya for that specific project. So, there are several funding arrangements based on the formation of partnerships and with external organizations, including yung, siyempre, first thing is the PPP, the Public-Private Partnership. Pangalawa naman is private finance initiative. Kumbaga, si private sector is nagkaroon ng kusa or nag-propose sa iyo na i-finance niya itong certain project. So, may iba namang projects kasi na self-funding. Kumbaga, yung earlier work stages na makakapag-generate na ng enough revenue or kita para yung kita na yun gagamitin mo sa pagpapatuloy ng development ng project na yun. Nabanggit na natin yung funding source, stages, phases. Punta naman tayo dun sa mga sectors ng construction na present ngayon sa Pilipinas. So, ito yung mga construction sectors na nag-boom. So, residential, mga housing, condo units, tall buildings with households facilities. So, and residential from the word itself, residential housing construction includes single-family houses, multifamily dwelling, and high-rise apartments. So, bumili yan. So, kung gusto nyo magpunta sa construction, ito, pwede nyo pagpunan ng pansin yung residential sector. So, marami yan, yung mga developers, diba? Deca Homes, Vista Land, etc. So, sa probinsya yung marami silang projects na ganun eh. Another construction sector is yung commercial sector. So, from the word itself, commercial and institutional building construction encompasses a great variety of project types and sizes, such as schools, universities, medical clinics and hospitals, recreational facilities and sports stadiums, retail chain stores, and large shopping centers. So, warehouses and light manufacturing plants and skyscrapers for offices and hotels. So, commercial sectors, ito yung mga infrastructure na nagkakreate ng revenue. Yun nga, SM, di ba? Mga warehouses, light manufacturing plants, so hospitals, clinics, schools, and universities. So, another construction sector is yung industrial sector. So, this industrial sector specialized in industrial construction, usually involves a very large scale of projects with high degree of technological complexity, such as oil refineries, steel mills, chemical processing plants, and coal-fired or nuclear power plants. So, ito yung mga special cases ng mga industrial. So, mga pabrika. Ayan. Another type of construction sector is the infrastructure and heavy highway sector. So, infrastructure and heavy construction includes projects such as highways, mass transit systems, tunnels and bridges, pipelines, drainage system, and sewage treatment plants. So, most of these projects are publicly owned and therefore financed either through bonds or taxes. So, ito example ng isang grading ng isang highway road. Sino naman ba si employer, engineer, and the contractor? So, discuss na natin yung all about construction. Sino-sino ba yung bumubuo ng construction? Yun ang tanong sa atin. So, ang bumubuo sa construction, meron tayong three major parties sa construction, which is the employer, the engineer, and the contractor. Sino si employer? Employer is the contracting party. Si employer or yung kliyente. Kumbaga, magpapagawa tayo. So, kung magpapagawa ka, ako yung employer, kung ako magpapagawa. Kung magpapagawa ka, ikaw yung employer or ikaw yung kliyente. So, employer is the contracting party for whom the work is carried out and is typically the owner of the land upon which the work is carried out. So, the employer can also be referred to as the owner, client, purchaser, or even the developer. So, ano naman si engineer? Si engineer, sa engineer, siyempre, di ba? Another term yun. Dito naman, ang engineer sa construction, ang meaning niya is the role that supervises the work. So, certifying payments, deciding extension of time claims, variation, and related matters. They manage construction projects, ensuring that they are scheduled and built in accordance with plans and specifications. So, si engineer, siya yung taga-ensure na yung project ay on time at tama siya sa specifications and tama rin yung singil ng mga contractor. So, if ever man na merong EOT or extension of time claims, kumbaga si contractor, gusto niya magpa-extension ng time ng completion kasi ganito, kasi ganyan. Or variations, like as per specs engineer, ganito yung gusto yung ipagawa, pero as per market availability, hindi naman yan pinoproduce, so may hirapan tayo. And as per contract, ganito lang yung cost. Kung gusto nyo ng ganyan, mag-i-export mag-i-import pa tayo from the other supplier o sa ibang bansa. So, magkakaroon tayo ng cost variation, kumbaga additive. Yun yung role ng isang engineer. So, actually, siya may second to the major role. Ayun. Actually, lahat naman ay pantay-pantay ng role, pero mabigat din yung role ng engineer dahil siya yung taga-check ng gawa. Siya yung taga-certify na Oo, employer or client, bayaran mo si ganito dahil tama yung ginawa niya. So, last party naman is the contractor. Siya yung tagagawa. So, contractor is an organization or sometimes a person hired by the client to carry out the work that is required for the completion of the project. So, it is responsible for overseeing the construction process and managing any subcontractors. Si contractor kasi, minsan sa sobrang laki ng work or sobrang complex ng project, maraming fields na kailangan niyang i-manage, marami siyang gagawin, nag-hire siya ng mga subcontractors. Kumbaga, itong subcontractors na to are specialty contractors under the supervision of the contractor or the main contractor or the general contractor. So, ano ba yung typical organizational chart ng mga parties na involved sa isang construction project? So, ito siya. So, kung mapapansin nyo, nasa top yung mga representative ng client. So, normally kasi, board of directors, the client, meron silang project board, then project sponsor. Itong project sponsors, equal niya itong mga user panels or champions and independent client advisors. So, under nun, nilang lahat is yung project manager. So, project manager or the client's representative, yan yung may mga pinaka major role or key role sa completion ng isang project ng project manager. Kaya yun yung i-discuss natin doon sa next slide. So, si project manager, hawak niya yung lead consultant or mga specialty consultant, architects, engineers. So, iba't ibang fields, iba't ibang department. Merong mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, sanitary, ayun, maraming ganun. So, architects naman sa aesthetics, sa things, meron tayong mga surveyors, etc. The designer, design team. And on the other hand, si project manager, the client representative, hawak na rin si contractor and subcontractors, mga suppliers. So, yan yung typical organizational chart na ginagamit sa sa construction industry dito sa Pilipinas. So, dahil nga yung project manager is the key role, ano ba yung role ng isang project manager? So, gano'n ba siya kabigat? Guys, kaya ako na-explain to, hindi yung project manager, kasi later in time, if ever man, di ba, pala rin tayo sa construction industry tayo napunta. And yun, ang aim natin is maging project manager. Bakit? Kasi ako ng sahod niyan. And every work na magagawa mo is meron kang percentage as project manager. Kumbaga, royalties mo yan. So, yun yung aim ng mga construction people, to be a manager. Kasi hawak mo lahat, oversee mo lahat. Ayun, siyempre man ang sahod. Challenging, kumbaga. That's the peak or the triumph ng isang engineer, being a project manager. So, ano ba yung isang project manager? So, a project manager is sometimes referred to as a project director. Kumbaga sa film director, siya yung utak ng lahat. So, project manager, mga specialista yan. That represents the client and is responsible for the day-to-day management of a project. So, paano mo na-manage yung project? Ito yung project management. So, from the design, i-develop mo siya, i-analyze mo, evaluate. Yun yung project management. So, every work item, kailangan mo siyang i-design, develop, analyze, and evaluate such that pasok siya din sa construction methodology natin, sa timeline, sa cost, and syempre, sa economy or kung economical ba yung work na gagawin mo. So, yun nga, sa project manager is responsible yan sa day-to-day management. So, kumbaga araw-araw, ikaw mag-manage. Ikaw mag-ensure na the project is on time and pasok siya sa specification. So, project manager seldom participate directly in activities. So, hindi siya yung hands-on na siya yung magpapala, hindi ganoon. Hindi siya yung magbabantay ng buhos. So, that produce the end result, but rather strive to maintain the progress. So, si project manager talaga, ino-oversee niya. Halimbawa, may gantong buhos, ganyan. Hindi niya pupuntahan yan. Iisipin niya kung ano na yung mga next steps na gagawin after that buhos that will yield to, yun nga, maging ahead ng schedule or ma-minimize yung delay, etc. etc. So, yun nga, yung ini-strive ng isang project manager na ma-maintain yung progress and mutual interaction of the project team. Dapat kasi maganda yung relationship in between project teams. Kasi kapag maganda yung relationship ng in between project teams, mare-reduce natin yung risk of failure, yung mga kamalian sa site. Ayan. Kapag nalalasin natin yung risk ng failure, yung mga kamalian na eliminate natin, ma-maximize natin yung benefits or yung time. Kumbaga, yung client matutuwa sa atin dahil nalagyan natin ng maayos and ahead of time. Siyempre, kapag ahead of time ka, hindi ka masyadong susobra o hindi ka mag-overspending. Kasi nga, ahead of time ka, marami kang reserve na cost. Kumbaga, marami kang natipid. Na-control mo yung cost mo. So, if a project manager is appointed, yung function nila ay most effectively kapag nag-operation na. So, itong project manager, hindi yan part ng ng consultant team. So, dapat sa client side talaga siya kasi consultant team, mga engineers yan. Na nagbibigay sa'yo ng information on paano ganito, paano ganyan, or kung pasok ba sa specs or not. Pero ikaw pa rin yung may final say as per the management. So, dahil nga manager ka, management ang trabaho mo, you should be able to issue instruction and review progress as if they were the client. So, during the briefing process, however, the project manager should allow the consultant team direct access to the client and user panel without interference. So, yung mga required characteristic ng isang manager o isang project manager para maging effective siya, dapat meron siyang ability to solve the problems with intellectual rigor. So, dapat bibo ka mag-solve ng mga problems. Dapat matalino ka, wise, gano'n. Dapat meron kang energy. And dahil nga management, dapat ma-energize mo rin yung mga tao mo. Kumbaga, dapat mo ma-spark yung communication para mas magtrabaho pa sila ng maayos. So, dapat rin ang project manager is confident sa leadership niya and communication skills. So, di ba? Ang hirap naman kasi sundin ng isang project manager. Yung project manager kasi boss, siya yung boss ng isang construction project. So, ang hirap naman na sabihin din o paniwalaan kung hindi siya confident, di ba? O kung parang hindi niya alam yung ginagawa niya. Na parang nag-uutal-utal siya. Dapat maayos yung communication skills. So, project manager, dapat meron siyang good negotiating skills kasi si contractor, as much as possible, gusto niyan kumita ng kumita. So, kung si project manager ka and you're controlling costs, minimizing delays, dapat marunong ka makipag-negotiate with the contractor para mapagawa mo sa kanila yung mga gusto mong gawin without doing additional cost to the project or without incurring additional cost to the project. So, especially, role ng isang project manager is dapat lahat ng tao ng isang project manager is in collaboration with each other. Kumbaga, meron silang rapport, nagtutulungan ng bawat isa. Yun ang mga required characteristics para maging isang effective na project manager. So, I think this is the last slide for the general overview and introduction dun sa ating course na Filing Works and Technology. So, before kasi natin na mapunta sa Filing Works, dapat alam muna natin yung mga overall or mga basic terms ng isang project. So, ginawa natin ng overview na ba. And thank you very much for listening, guys. So, ayun yung ating lecture 1 for the brief overview or project overview. So, with this lecture, dapat alam niyo na yung mga common terms. Kumbaga, kung paano ba gumagana isang project, kung ano ba yung position ng isang project. Kumbaga, yung overall overview ng isang construction project, alam mo na. And dito, diniscuss natin yung mga roles ng isang project manager kasi in the future, guys, if ever man na palarin kayo, na mapasok kayo sa isang construction industry na maganda yung bigayan, nagugustuhin yung maging isang manager doon or higher position pa, magagamit itong mga lectures dito o yung mga nagtutunan dito when it comes the time na kayo naman yung magtatrabaho, kayo naman yung gawin. So, ayun, medyo magulo yung recording dahil di ko alam kung ano nangyari. Sabog. But, itatry ko linisin yung video, but yung audio bago ko i-upload sa YouTube. So, ayun, that concludes our lesson 1 for today. Thank you guys for attending. Good evening. Sana masarap yung ulam nyo. And ayun, pwede na kayo mag-leave sa call. The class is dismissed.
Thank you po.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po.